Welcome to this tutorial series. My name is Juliett, and in this tutorial series I'm going to show you Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2020. Also, it can be used for the older versions like CC 2018, 2019, 2017. Not much difference actually. Maybe slight variations here and there, but most of the interface is very similar. So as I load the screen, I like to talk about Adobe Premiere Pro. Now it's used by a lot of filmmakers, a lot of editors use Adobe Premiere Pro. Of course, there's a lighter version of Adobe, Adobe Premiere Rush, but I'm going to talk more about Adobe Premiere Pro in this tutorial series. Now, Adobe Premiere Pro was developed way back in 1991, and it has grown a lot since then. All right, so once the screen loads, you'll be brought to the screen. Now you just have to go to new project, and there you must leave everything on default except for the location where you are saving the file. In my case, I'm saving it on the C drive, but you can change it to any location you want, the D drive or the E drive. The remaining, you can change the name, of course, from untitled to new project, or depending on whatever you want to name it. Press OK. And the screen should load, and this is the interface of Adobe Premiere 2020. Now if we see this interface, it's quite similar to the older versions, 2018, 2017, 2019. There's no much difference. Maybe here and there some basic stuff has been changed. Okay, now let's look at the interface. So beginning on the left side, it's the file. There you get all the files, like where you save it, all the open project, open production, open team project, open recent. It will be the same in most Adobe softwares. Even this, edit, clip, sequence, markers, graphics, view, window, help. So it is very similar to any version like which you have previous versions of, like the 2018 and 2019, even to some extent the 2017 Creative Cloud version. So it will be very similar to that. Now let's begin the project. Firstly, we import the media. So double click on this icon and then select the files which you want to import. So this is the first file. This is the second file. And this is the third file. Now these are three separate videos I got from Pixabay. Now each one has its own characteristic video, so it's different. Now what we do as editors is we make the videos together, we combine it to tell a story. Now editors go by instinct. So when an editor makes an edit, he sees where the story begins and where the story ends. So each aspect of filmmaking is different. Like the director will make the movie, but it's the editor who has to combine the movie. Of course, the director has a say in what the editor does. But if you are both the director as well as the editor, then it is a different thing altogether. So in my case, I am a film director as well as an editor, so I edit some of my films. So now let's begin. Alright, so let's begin. Firstly, I have imported the moon scene. Secondly, I'll import the fireplace scene. And thirdly, I will import the washing of the ants scene. Now, compared to other softwares which I've used, in the beginning, maybe you will find it difficult to use Premiere Pro, but it is not that difficult. It is a very simple piece of software. It takes a bit of time to get used to. So firstly, we right click and unlink the sound for the washing the ants scene. Mostly when you get a scene, you will have audio as well as video. So you need to separate the audio and then delete it, because depending on the scene. In this case, I'm making a kind of a montage, so I need a background music to be added So I will remove the audio. Now let's edit this scene. All right, so you see the full moon scene. It's about 15 to 20 seconds. The fireplace scene is a bit longer, and then we have the washing plant scene. So these are three scenes which are separate. When you play the scenes, it looks very separate. But we have to, as editors, we have to combine the scenes to make the story. So that's what exactly I'm going to do. So take the eraser tool and make a cut in the middle portion. Now play the scene. It's the same scene, except that we just want the key moment of the scene. All right, so once we have done this, we have cut the middle portion of the scene. It's the same scene. There's no much, there's nothing much happening, except the clouds are moving in front of the moon. So delete the first part of it, then press the backspace button and it comes forward. Then play the scene. As you can see that yet nothing much is happening. Again, what we'll do is we will cut the middle portion of this scene. We're using the razor tool, and then select it and delete it. Then press the blank space with your mouse, and then press the backspace button. Now the three scenes are somewhat connecting to the story. All it needs is a background music. Alright, so in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to add transitions. Transitions are an important part of editing, and it makes a scene complete. So right now I've added two transitions of cross dissolve. Here you can see the transitions. There are different types of transitions on Premiere Pro, and depending on what transitions you want, I'm just going to show you one transition. We'll play the scene. So there you can see the transitions added and the effect it has. Thank you for watching. So all we need is some background music, which I'm going to import right now. Double click, select the background music choice, and then play it. Place it below. Now play the scene. As you can see here, we are playing the scene, but we'll take a moment and pause it. You can see this unevenness in the audio. That shouldn't be there. Especially as professionals, we should not allow this to happen. So what you have to do is select the audio, go to effects, and write fill left or fill right with left. This will balance the audio. Now play it. Now you can see this is quite even. The music level is quite even. That's very important. Now editing is all about instinct. Now you may notice that this fire scene is taking too long. Now depending on what you think, in my case I think it is taking too long. So I will cut the fire scene, take the razor tool, once again cut the fire scene, and then press the delete button, select the blank space, press the backspace, and now play it again. Now the thing is that we want to end the audio here, but the audio is continuing till the end. So what do? We take the razor tool, select the portion where it ends, and then take the mouse pointer and then delete it. But one thing you'll notice that the audio comes to an abrupt end. That should not happen. So what we do, we go to effects, and then we write constant gain, and we drag and drop and select it and push it to the end. Now replay the scene and see what happens. Now it's much smoother. Now in most cases when you take stock audio, the sound is quite even, it is quite natural. But suppose you're dealing with sounds which are very uncomfortable to hear. Suppose the audio is not great and you want to increase the volume. What you got to do is select the audio, right click, go to audio gain, and you'll get this option. Now if the audio is too loud, you go for the negative. But if your audio is too less, you go to the positive values. So in this case, I will go to +6 decibels. Press OK, and now play the music. You can see that the audio has increased, the volume has increased. So depending on whether you want the audio to be plus or minus. Remember, minus only if, negative only if it is too loud. But positive, most of the cases you will be making the audio to sound extreme, like increasing the volume. So go to positive. Select a positive value, depending on your instincts, of course. Alright, and now in this tutorial we'll see the transitions, what you have to add if they are needed. Now depending on the circumstances and the filming of the location as well as the scene, you may sometimes need a transition, but not always. There's no hard and fast rule regarding transitions, but sometimes you need to make it a part of the scene. So either you need it or you don't. Alright, in this example, I'm going to show you how to edit a green screen footage. And to remove this green screen chroma key, all you have to do is select, go to effects, and type Ultra key, drag and drop the Ultra key button, go to effects control, select the key color. Now as you can see, the background, it's not like the other stock footage green screens. The background is not entirely black. I'll show you a technique in which you can make it entirely black and make it use of it, especially when you are doing your own green screen videos. You'll find this a lot. You'll find a lot of problems. You'll see the edges of the border of the shirt. And now remember, always when you're wearing anything for a green screen, always wear dark colors. Do not wear anything green or dark green. So after much trial and error, I've developed this technique in which if you increase the pedestal to say 100, it becomes fully dark. You see the edges, everything becomes dark. Now there's some white grains left on top. So go to the transparency and increase that as well. Now you can see that it has been turned into fully black color. So I achieved this background by taking this background. I'll show you how I did it. take the background footage and add it below the green screen footage. Now go to Effects Control, select the background footage, go to Effects Control, and then increase the scale. Now, yeah, there has to be some color adjustments done because it still does not fit the background image. So for that, we go to brightness and colors, brightness and contrast, select the top image, which is my image, and then adjust the background till it matches the video. A revolutionary technology for the VFX and After Effects industry. Facial All right, so after much trial and error, I learned some things like from video editing, and that is while removing the green screen, you see the matte cleanup as well as the matte generation. Now, what you do is you increase the contrast and look at the image now. Increase it to 100, depending on your eyes, or depending on your instincts. It's all about instinct editing. So you increase this to 100 as well. Now you see that the image is quite clear and looks much better. It looks much better. Look at the image. So that's an update I wanted to let you know. Alright, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to get a artificial green screen if you don't have a green screen at home. Now go to Color Director, it's available, this is the free trial version which I'm using. Go to their website and then register, and then you can get a free version, download it. This is the latest Color Director 9. Alright, so once you get into Color Director, this is the interface of Color Director 9. It's got a file, edit, video, view, help, and other features. But right now we are just going to concentrate on how to get a green screen. You can use this for color correction, color grading, or anything else. But right now we are concerned about is how to get the green screen footage. Alright, then what you have to do is go to the file location where you are stored your files, import videos. In my case, I kept it on a USB drive, but it can be anywhere in any of the drives, C drive, D drive, E drive, or even the USB drive. So in my case, this is 426. Press open. All right, so this is my video. All right, so after importing it, you go to the plus button on the icon on the storyboard clip. You say OK, and then it gets imported in this menu option. Then you go to adjustment. You get all these options. Now, depending on your screen size. All right, so go to this brush mask with motion tracking, and then select the area which you want to cover. In my case, I want to select the area which is me holding the camera, and then cover the entire image. And that's it. Now you have to press this button, which is the start motion tracking button. Press OK, and you can see select this option, invert mask. Now let's get to the next step. Now the next step is to go to this option right here, which is the global adjustments, regional adjustments. Go to tone, select the exposure to its to -4, brightness to -100, and the contrast to 100. Now you see this background becomes black. Next step is to go to the color replacement, select the color, go to new color, select the green screen, press OK. Now you see that the green screen has been selected, but it's not complete. You can see some black in the black things in the background. So go to tolerance and select it to 100. But as you can see, this was the old method, which was in color director 6. I'll show you a different technique now in which you can use a different way to make it entirely green. All right, so after we do that, we go to the curve option where we select the green color channel. Just drag it till it completely fills the background. And you can see the background is now entirely green. Now the next step is to go to effects and then production, and do export the image. Not many people use Premiere Pro for VFX, but you can do a lot of stuff with it. So here's such example. So if you have watched this complete series, I have made another tutorial series which is VFX compositing using Premiere Pro. Now that is another very informative and educational series on Udemy, and you can see that how I have done compositing using the video editing software called Premiere Pro 2020. It works for all versions of 2020 and versions which are earlier than that. So even the CS6 versions can be used for compositing, so you don't have to worry about that. Even these techniques which I've used for this video can be used for the older versions of Premiere Pro. I hope you found this tutorials very informative and useful, and it's been a pleasure doing these tutorials. Thank you for the overwhelming response to them. Thank you once again. And one more thing I would like to add is, please give me a rating if you find these tutorials that have been helpful to you, because it takes a lot of hard work for me to make these tutorials. So thank you.